everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings. They finally, Mike, they have a home. That's right. Find us, Mike, on TikTok. Find us. We do a little bit on Instagram, but we're going hardcore into the reels right now on YouTube. Yeah. So we got some new buddies that are coming aboard and subscribing. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are joining us live. If you are new to the show, just know that I'm protesting any Red Wings gear until something actually happens for this team. Mike, very proud of you. You're doing much of the same, but I think that was more happenstance. I think that was more coinky dink.
Nope.
With what you were
doing. It was a choice. Yeah, I got pukesters to my left and pukesters to my right. Yeah. Ooh.
Well,
Matt, prep.
Also, take note. It says first round draft prep. That's right. That means there's more to come.
Oh, no. I mean, yay.
I did have some fun. I asked ChatGPT to download the Elite Prospects rigmarole, like their whole draft guide. And it did. It downloaded it. And then I said, who should we draft in rounds 2 through 7? And the response it actually gave was all of our draft picks from rounds 2 through 7 from last year. So I was a little confused about what was going on there. So I told ChatGPT, I was like, no, this is incorrect. These are all the guys we drafted last year. And then ChatGPT was still it responded with oh yeah, no, you're right. These don't make sense. So let me do that again. And then it came up with the same exact response for rounds 2 through 7. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to do some research here on my own. But
players so noteworthy, they couldn't fool the system. Look at that.
Well, today we'll do a little bit of draft prep and as much as we possibly can do with our limited experience scouting. Mike, would you say 0% of your life is spent scouting NHL prospects?
I will say it is difficult for someone who has all the tape to do scouting. So for us to not have all the tape, it will take a supreme amount of concentration and effort, Matt, to be robbed of the tools that you could use to do that. So I guess we'll see what happens here. But Matt, I think you have some news for somebody who's not a potential draft pick. He's already selected by Steven Yzerman. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if Steve was brought on to put together an SHL team, Mike, I don't know. I would hire him immediately if I was in the SHL. The second Steve gets fired from Detroit, I think some team from the SHL needs to hire him because yet another Detroit Red Wing prospect wins the Elite Prospects Award, annually given to the top junior player in the SHL. Mike, it's Axel Sandin Pellikka. Take it home. The hardware. I
feel like Yzerman would have more empathy for someone like Dylan Larkin, who routinely gets referred to as a good second-line center. Steve is a really good second-line GM. Man, is he good at putting together a minor league team. Remains to be seen what he can do at the as a first liner. So we'll see what Steve's got for us here.
I would argue,
yeah,
at least we did see Moritz Seider walk away with this. I think we're pretty happy with what's going on there. There's a bit of a track record built here with the Elite.
Now, I don't know if is Axel putting out the vibe or is he showing the appropriate excitement level for this award?
I thought it was funny. The first thought that came into my head with this picture. So if you guys aren't watching on YouTube, you're on the podcast, I highly recommend. But I was knowing how much it takes for me to get a photo group together for my measly job at a mortgage company. What went into putting this picture together? Hey, could you bring your own jersey? And I mean, they needed somebody to turn the lights on in the arena. So either there was something already planned, right? Or they actually did the due diligence to get somebody to lock in and right. Get this stadium looking right for this pick. I would guess that none of that happened. I would guess that they showed up. gave Axel the award like weeks ago. Jared throws in there green screen. Definitely a possibility. Is this even the arena that Axel plays in? Or are we asking the right question, Mike? Is that Axel?
I couldn't attest to that. I'm
Is
not
this CGI? Is this AI?
Matt, that could literally be anybody. I know it's not Steve Yzerman. We've narrowed it down.
I could have photoshopped this tweet.
Wow.
Who knows what's going on here?
Now we're getting in too much into the weeds here.
Jared wants to know, is that an award or a waffle pan?
I think it's a stovetop skillet, right? For cooking eggs. Looks good. Matt, Corey Eisel, welcome. Saying this is a big offseason already. Yzerman has started collecting goaltenders.
Who did he start collecting?
Yeah, I was looking at transactions. The only one I could find was Michael Pastava. Is that a goaltender?
Should we take a guess as to how to pronounce that? I'm gonna say Postova, but I guess I don't know. But from the Czech League, 42 appearances. He posted a 23-18 showing, coupled with a .921 save percentage, .239 goals against average, with 3 shutouts. Mike,
got
the HC Brno Komita of the top tier Czech League will be weeping, Mike, as Michael heads on over. I like Jared says Pavlova.
The rest of the league that guy came from is weeping tears of joy that now they'll be able to score some goals.
Right. I didn't finish my thought there.
Okay.
What is this? I see 2 different numbers here. So last year he had a career high 44 appearances in which he went 23-20-0 with a .943 save percentage, 1.84 goals against. You know, it'd be nice. They should post like what is like the league average here for all of these numbers so that we have something to grade it on. Because clearly he would lead the league right now. He'd be up for the Vezina and the NHL with numbers like this. What is the rest of the league?
1-to-1 translation. We just signed the MVP. Incredible.
Yeah, I like Corey put out there. Just some Czech guy. But clearly showing
those Red Wing checks. Yeah.
Showing more confidence in what he's been able to build here. He's like, I'll take it. Yeah, bring him over. Whatever. Anybody and everybody you can fit into my.
That's what we needed to shore up
my little tribe of
7th and 8th goaltenders. I love it. Hey, how do you feel? Because I know we do want to talk about Pellikka, but was there any part of you that was interested in Kreider from the Rangers? Because it looks like they're working on a move to take him to the Ducks.
Well, I do have some slides for that somewhere. Where is it?
Because the word on the street is, Steve's like, oh, we're willing to weaponize our cap space and prospects. So of course, make any trades that. Another team made a trade for a guy we wanted. Okay, well, we'll try again next year. We'll do some of our own development here. But this guy's off the table for the Wings. Bang! Matt, did you want him?
You know what? He actually did fit into one of my roster builds, but was more or less something I put together to just kind of fill out, like, maybe this could happen and not have to give up too many assets just for a year. But no, to be completely honest, this is not a trade I am upset about losing. It's not something I really wanted in a Chris Kreider. And namely because he's 34, Mike, and arguably at an age where you would see a dip and way beyond that, actually. And if you take a look at the J-Fresh card. So J-Fresh puts out there, Chris Kreider reportedly acquired by Anaheim as a veteran net front scoring winger. Big, solid, still decently fast in a straight line, can be a threat off the rush. This game took a big hit last year in terms of goals and chances at even strength. But of course, so did the rest of the Rangers. But I think what you'd want to take a peek at is his WAR percentile rank. Like it is a 74%. On average over the last 3 years, but taking a look at his most recent season, And of course, the Rangers cratered because they
Right.
needed Kreider. They needed his
They needed Kreider to
abilities.
crater. Yeah.
Well, they didn't want him to, right? They thought they were going to be a Stanley Cup contender. They win the President's Trophy within the last couple of years. You should be contending. And instead, this would be one of the reasons I would point to that the Rangers weren't successful this year. And that's not the type of thing I am really itching to bring to my team. Oh, your team sucked because this guy failed you? Bring him on down. How old is he getting? Come on down the Iserman Highway.
Man, it is shade throwing Wednesday. Woo! Matt is off the Kreider train. That's okay.
Just real quick, Jared throws in there, viewership might be low. You're streaming at dinner time for normal people. And then Corey pops in, are you insinuating that we are abnormal?
I don't think there's any question. That's what he's doing, Corey. Welcome to the abnormal friend gathering of people that we all dine at weird time. We do.
Yeah, we got 14 minutes.
I guess there was just a little appeal for Kreider because we don't really have guys who score in front of the net. And Dan B, more importantly, this is a non-goalie that we could have been in on.
Do we want to get through the rest of our
goalie worth $6.5 million that we're gonna target instead?
Let's hammer through the rest of this trade stuff that I have. Let me make sure I'm gonna start this on the right slide.
I'm just curious if you guys, Matt was not impressed with Kreider. Did you guys have any interest in his filling a role that the Red Wings desperately need as turds who stand in front of the net and score goals? I know the age is wrong. I know the decline is scary, but it did kind of feel like a guy we were maybe targeting.
Let me pull this up. So
let's hit Hog. Yeah.
What is the role that we need filled? Like, I would argue that he immediately is a middle six guy, and we have enough middle six guys. We have enough bottom. Like, we needed Chris Kreider on the team when you added to the top line so he could be moved down. We have openings on the top line. And what we needed was to keep filling in the top two lines so that we could bring guys down to the third and fourth line. So I don't think this actually fills a hole. I think this just brings another guy with a positive track record in his history with the NHL, but doesn't actually give us. It doesn't fill a need for us.
So I think what he fills is what we kind of tongue in cheek talked about last week. That team philosophy lobotomy. We have guys who can score, but they're slight. They're small people. They're 5'9", 5'10". It's all quickness. And our big people, we got big people. Got a lot of big people. Maybe the biggest. I don't know. Maybe. And they just don't like to score. So I think the hope was Chris. He likes to score. Scores a lot. And he's kind of big. So I think that's what we were trying to do with the Venn diagram, is find a guy who he's kind of bigger and he kind of scores, because we have those two things, but they're not quite working out. So I think that was the philosophy.
No, yeah, and I think there's the problem is there's 5 circles in the Venn diagram, which I don't think makes it a Venn diagram anymore. And he could line up in a couple of them, but not enough for me. Where it's oh, he also has to be good? Ooh, sorry, Chris. Whoop. You're out of there. Perfect for Anaheim. I'm gonna be, you know what? I'll be real bummed
before us. My God,
it's not gonna be because of Chris Kreider, but I will be bummed if this is something that
this pans out. Yeah. All right, next player. Let's go.
All right. Nick Hague, Vegas trading multiple teams over Hague. All right. He's only 26.
He's a little young for the Red Wings. We like him about 8 years older than that.
He's a left side defenseman. I would look at Nick Hague as an obvious upgrade over Ben Sherratt, but there's clearly some problems here when you take a look at his track record over the last 3 years. And if Vegas, here's the thing too, if Vegas is dropping him, this isn't a thing where Nick Hague is asking for a trade. When Vegas is dropping a guy, take a look at Jonathan Marchessault. When Vegas is ready to drop a guy that's had a pretty good track record, has made a name for himself, positively affected, some playoff runs. When Vegas is ready to drop that guy, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. So here's the thing. I think this was called out like on Red Wings threads, like, oh my God, this is going to solve a problem for, again, the thing that I would be most cautious about is that Vegas, the team who drops bags of crap like nothing, that would be the thing that would scare me. I would be so very cautioned to take, a chance on this unless. Go ahead.
Can I give a counterexample? It's a little bit like when you see the Buffalo Sabres are ready to sell somebody, you call because that player, yes, you do. You call because you know that player is going to pan out. But as soon as Vegas drops somebody, it's kind of the counterexample.
Exactly.
Like if he's cooked in Vegas, then he's cooked. If you can't make it work in Vegas, then you're cooked.
So, it was Frank Saravelli who updated his trade targets board. I just wanted to call that out. He has most likely to be traded, I think, is how he's got these panned out. But 28, 29, and 30. Martin Aitcheson.
Can I jump in? So he's just saying it's too complicated to trade for them. That's why they're so low. Not that they're the 29th best player or the 28th. Okay, I got you.
Well, yeah, like rights to Marner is pretty specific here. It's not trading for Mitch Marner. But he does call out, like, it does look like it's over. And if Toronto could make the play, then they should. But he's also calling out, like, most teams would rather just take him to the UFA market and not have to drop something, especially if Toronto's not willing to let you negotiate while he's still a Leaf. If you can get that done, let him negotiate, then make the trade. Absolutely. Try and get that out there. If I were the Leafs, I would absolutely open up his ability to negotiate right now. Let him try and get that 8-year deal and then collect an asset from, whichever team wants to pay the highest bid. For Martin Aitcheson, it's just another similar to the, we'll take a look again at the Jason Robertson conversation because that had an update. But for Aitcheson, it's a 1 year remaining at $6.5 million. And is this the guy we want to commit to? And Colorado might not be ready. Somebody else may. And then for Pettersson, you're right. 7 years remaining on an $11.6 million deal. This is Vancouver's last chance to move Elias Pettersson. Mike, I lost your video feed. Not sure if you're gone from the show.
Oh, no.
This is their last chance. The trade clause kicks in. Pettersson's going to hold all the power when it comes to the next move. And if they're going to be moving Pettersson at some point, if they want to break this up and they still want some control on what's coming back to them, then they have to move him this season. Anything on there, Mike? I think we agree. Like there's something for each one of these guys. Like you'd sniff around it. And as long as the deal was right, like, I mean, for Mitch Marner, that means that you've had an opportunity to negotiate and you could get an 8-year deal. At that point, if you got the thumbs up for Mitch Marner and you just needed to win the trade, like you needed to win the rights, and he's like, yeah, if you win that, I'll sign with you guys. Would you trade a first-round pick?
If, like, we feel pretty good, Mitch is like, yeah, I'll do the 8 years in Detroit.
Yeah, like you won't trade with Toronto unless you're allowed to negotiate beforehand.
If there's a contingency that was like, if you trade for him and he doesn't sign with you, you get your picks back, I would definitely do like 2 first-rounders. What are we doing? Ooh. What are we doing?
Oh, Mike, I'm gonna pass out. I love that hot take. That's so hot.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
that's what this is all about. Do we want another 2 guys who are gonna maybe be middle 6 forwards in 6 years? Who gives it? Come on. This is Mitch Marner. It's a wild talent upgrade.
Hottest take for this episode. 2 first-rounders if you can get a guaranteed signing from Mitch Marner. 2 first-rounders. Bye-bye, gone. And then you get Mitch Marner for 8 years. What else do you want from those 2 first-round picks?
I feel like it'll be exciting for Steve to not have to sit there and announce players like Nate Danielson who don't even look excited to be drafted here. How about that?
All right.
I would put those 2 picks at least for all of these guys. It's like, what are we doing?
Well, it's a moot point, Mike, because Danby says Toronto Twitter says everyone's signing in Toronto. So
wonderful.
Thanks, Dan.
You
Matt, guys know how yeah, go ahead.
I know you have a favorite of the three. And if we're just looking at last year, right, we know he had definitely a down year. I don't know if he's going to point at injuries, chemistry, the locker room was just kind of dragging him down. Has your favorite of these three changed at all, or is it still Pettersson?
Um,
I feel like going for position of need, ceiling, youth, maybe getting a buy low, because I feel like if you're going to get Marner, you are overpaying. I don't think he's getting 11.6 like Pettersson. He's probably going to be getting 12 or 14. Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
gross. I think it's going to be gross. It's going to be really gross. So it's like Pettersson now. I know we talked about it in past, years, that was going to be a lot to give up. Now it could arguably be the least that you give up for the three guys, just because he had such a bad year last year. We're going to eat salary, so maybe take fewer picks and prospects.
that is a great point. I definitely would be leaning towards Marner right now, just with how the production has been pretty consistent for Marner. And from
Yeah.
both guys, you're going to be looking to the rest of your roster to be more consistent on your playoff games. So that being said, you'd be closer to that playoff spot, more of a guaranteed playoff spot if you look at Pettersson's, full track record as an NHL player. But I think you make a great point though. Like the more affordable player now to collect, because you are probably doing 8 years, 14 million, the more affordable player to bring aboard would be Pettersson. And Mike, I might even argue might be kind of nice to see Pettersson, Raymond, maybe Edvinsson and Pellikka all out there at the same time. I'm just saying. We're going to talk about Jason. We're going to talk about Jason Robertson next, and he's on the trade block too, Mike, and for a really weird reason. Did I bring this onto the?
Yeah, we do want to touch on those players. I'm just going to throw a few comments in there. Jared saying Mike wants Max Pacioretty confirmed. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, he spelled it out phonetically for you, Mike. Just
I appreciate that, Jared. We should do that for all the players for me. I would really like it. Dan says, rumor has it Ekblad is not returning to Florida. Not if he wants to be a rich man. Come on down, get that Detroit green, baby. Honk, honk. We got a money truck for him. And this is the real reason I wanted to stop you, is Jared was saying, last track of how many players traded out of Buffalo go on to win the cup within a year. Oh, no. Poor Buffalo. Man, do they know how to groom them, but not keep them. And then finally, Dan saying maybe Steve can sneak a contract offer to Marner into the Tigers GM paperwork stack. And Chris will sign up thinking he's getting Paul Skeens. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the Illiches are doing fine. Pizza's, running wild right now. So, yeah, they can afford it. But yeah, you had another player for us, Matt. So this guy's number 7 on the list. So this a super productive 25-year-old who definitely has not hit his peak yet, on a playoff contender, on a championship contender, is on the block. This trade for me, like looking at the 4 players we've looked at so far, Deitches, Pettersson, Marner, and now Robertson, this by far feels like the least likely move for the Red Wings. If only because they're definitely going to want somebody like Lucas.
So this is the weird thing that Elliot Friedman reported, that the Dallas Stars are trying to make room for Michael Granlund. And the immediate connection everybody's making is that, oh, that's weird. He happens to be Finnish, just like some of the other superstars on Dallas. And I would call into evidence for the court to review when there was the Swedish Mafia in Detroit. And I believe Jim Dill was still part of the Red Wings when that was going on. And now he's let the Finnish Mafia take over. But I just think that's so wild that you would. I mean, right now, Michael Granlund is at 33. Next season, he'll be 34. Mike, and they want to make room for Granlund on this team. And they would be shipping out Robert. Now that speaks a lot to how much they trust Jason Robertson and they see him every day. I don't know, Mike, this might be. Do you want to take a chance on this Dallas Stars team just misreading player value and prospectus on a team that clearly built through the draft and has had a lot of good fortune come their way these last few years? Or do you want to bank on the fact that they're just making a huge mistake here and Jason could be got in a moment of weakness?
I don't know if you want to put him in the same bucket as like Vegas, right? Where when they drop people, you're like, ooh, that's probably not good. I don't know if you want to say the same thing with Dallas. We did talk about, teams you want to emulate, and we do really appreciate their aggression, seemingly the past couple off seasons and trade deadlines, to try and make moves to win titles. So I don't know. I haven't been seduced by Jason Robertson yet. This feels like one of those trades where you got to kind of do like a 1-for-1, and then one team throws in picks. So we're the team that would probably have to throw in like, a Raymond plus, a first round pick. So I don't know if you feel that's enough of, I don't even want to use the word upgrade. It feels somewhat lateral to me. Matt, do you feel this is lateral or an upgrade? Do you not feel like you'd have to give up something like that?
If you're trading Lucas Raymond in a pick, you are way overpaying because they came out with the same number of points and Raymond is way younger than Robertson. I think Dallas would have to give you some picks if they wanted to make this trade happen. I do think this is more along the lines of DeBrincat and a pick than it is a Jason Robertson. And then a Lucas Raymond.
Sure.
And those are the ones
that they wanted like NHL ready talent. Yeah.
If it was Lucas Raymond, yuck, absolutely not. Because you're basically saying like, hey, production for production. And right now I think we're all in love with Lucas right now. So I wouldn't want to chance that. You're basically saying like, yeah, you'll get the same production on a guy that Dallas is ready to give up on. And I think I like the toughness and grit we see there. So hopefully it would be DeBrincat. We'll touch on this one real quick because this is a draft episode. We're 3 minutes over when I said we'd be done, but Marco Rossi also out there. I'd take a peek at this one only because that WAR percentile just continues to grow for Rossi. So when he's given more opportunity, he seems to be taking advantage of it and having a lot of success with it too. One of the reasons that Minnesota was able to turn in a higher quality season was his production going up. So I would stare at the call. I'd stare at the number for a bit before deciding whether to pick up or hang up, but I'd want to hear Bill Guerin out and see what's going on with Rossi. Another thing I wanted to point out too, Cervelli put Tarasenko on there. Tarasenko surrounded by Erik Karlsson and the rights to Isaac Howard. Mike,
wow.
If Pittsburgh wanted to take the Erik Karlsson off their books, the Erik Karlsson contract off their books, I would be willing to throw in a draft pick and Tarasenko. There we go. We'll swap. We'll give them a cheaper contract to work around. And who knows, maybe they'll have a better chance of tanking next season. Mike, the rights to Isaac Howard, I just give him Tarasenko straight up. And I would make the argument that, and maybe I'd hold on to some salary of Tarasenko's for Tampa. But I wouldn't really go far beyond that. Maybe thinking like a third rounder just to give Tampa something else to play around with, but absolutely not more than that. But I do think you would be solving something for Tampa that they could experiment on if you held some of the contract of Tarasenko, gave them a draft pick, and said, hey, see if you could make a $2.75 million Tarasenko work in your bottom six. You have a little bit more talent than we do. Let's see what you can do there. That would be the conversation I'd have with Tampa and see if anything comes to fruition there. But I just thought it was funny that Tarasenko made it to this list and he was surrounded by a couple of contracts / players I'd be interested in taking a peek at. But I do think ultimately both Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay would say no to those. But I also would say if they did say yes, hell yeah, bring him on down. I'll take that huge Carlson contract instead of Tarasenko's. And yeah, I'll drop a draft pick plus a Tarasenko for Isaac Howard.
We are going to have some pretty crazy cap space. We have okay cap space this year. We're going to have crazy cap space the year after that. It's like Sherratt coming off the books, Justin Hall coming off the books, Gustafsson coming off the books, Mrazek coming off the books, Talbot coming off the books. It's like wide open. So I mean that Carlson money and the cap should be going up by then. I mean, we shouldn't even sniff or even realize what's going on having him on the books. So if you could seduce Pittsburgh into taking that trade so they could save a little bit of money this year to make their team work, absolutely Oprah. I would definitely do that move. I don't know if that's enough for them to just clean up $4 million and still have to ice Tarasenko out there, but performance artisan Tara Stinks is perfect for Tampa. Well, that was a slightly different trade, but yeah, okay.
I like Dan B. Russians love Florida, and then Florida loves Russians. Woo! And then Dan B. I like this. As long as we don't use number 13 to take a goalie, I'm good with anything.
Hey, no.
Okay. Let's jump into the draft talk. Mike, I said we'd be done at 7. It's 7:07. All right, Mike, we're 16 days away from the draft.
Another week for the draft. I mean,
I titled the episode Draft Day Decisions, damn it.
What's up, Ketzel?
All right. Hey, Ketzel. Okay, needs at a glance. This is what I'm looking at. Scoring depth on the wing. Physicality and size for puck battles. Of course, this is exactly what Steve asked for. NHL readiness. So I'm throwing out there somebody who's coming from the SHL, somebody coming from the NCAA. I would give like a premium to when I'm doing my draft grades. Right shot defenseman ideal. Left shot defenseman still welcomed. Like as you're going through what the Red Wings have in their prospect pool. I mean, really anything from either side, I'm going to be happy with. Mike, any thoughts there?
What first made me laugh was how short this list was.
This made me laugh.
There's so many needs that this team needs. And Jared saying, I didn't sign up for death by PowerPoint. Well, too bad, Jared. Buckle in. Get ready to meet your maker. Needs at a glance is so tough because this team needs like a real first line center. It feels like even management and the coaching feel that way. Like they're mad at Larkin. They threw him under the bus the whole offseason.
Yeah, and
he kind of had a rough season, right?
And I'm not talking about anything we can solve for next season. I'm talking about looking at our prospect pool. Like, how could we enhance the prospect pool?
Can we just have NHL guys who can play in the NHL? How about that?
Yes, but we're talking about the NHL draft. Wait, that trade conversation already happened.
This is so difficult for me because I don't even want to make a draft pick. If we make that draft pick, I feel like we failed this offseason.
Performance art for our draft conversation says Larkin better be willing to sweet talk Marner.
Get him a Coney with a candle in it. I like it.
Nobody wants to have draft talk, so maybe this will be quick. All right. I mean, I guess nobody cares about this, but again, I'm putting that premium on the SHL NCAA experience, value, some size, some board play, scoring potential. And then I'm saying best player available, weighted to team needs.
That feeds into what Steve was saying. It's not just people who are big, but like skilled big people. So I will be stunned if they don't take somebody who's 6 foot or taller, or a larger person.
So
hey, I see my boy in there. Yeah, Roger McQueen.
Yeah. That actually blew up on our TikTok. Our takes on McQueen. Size, skill, upside. He's everything we need. I might even consider trading up for him. Carter Bear. We'll take a look at elite prospects. You know what? Let's just do this. Roger McQueen. Mike, he's ankle breaker, sniper. He's got vision. He's 6'5". He's almost
hair.
200
Look at
pounds.
this kid. Good Lord.
I mean,
he's got to wear a helmet
across the board. Great grades. And, we're a week away from also dissecting another take of Roger McQueen that did list his skating ability actually on the higher end in this draft. So I would say if that's rated as his lowest grade from elite prospects, I think we'd be doing okay considering we got a whole nother take last week that was like, get this guy because everything he does is attached with speed.
You know
It's
who
like,
else
okay.
had a little bit of an injury scare was Cade Cunningham, and now he's second team All NBA. Whoops-a-doodle. That's not a big deal. Carter Bear, man, look at these names, McQueen and Bear. I'm gonna be crushed if we don't get one of these guys.
Great take from Elite Prospects at the top right here. It says, "Got that bear in him." Well,
Yeah.
obviously, he's got vision. He's a clinical finisher. And when I talk about like some offensive upside, some skill here, like I don't just want to find another guy who's a strong two-way forward. I'm done with that. I need guys that in their goddamn Elite Prospects rating, it's like, no, this guy can actually make plays and score. Like that's what I need. He is the most intense competitor in the draft. Could at least get Steve's attention, but also clinical finisher is where I'd be happy. 6 foot, Mike, 179 pounds for Mr. Carter Bear.
Can I
Quick
say,
take,
Matt,
one line take.
Yeah. I think that this guy is got a strong likelihood of being a Red Wing because we're in the throes of Final Destination getting rebooted, and 9 months before this young man was born, Matt, Final Destination 3 came out. So I think it comes full circle, and death brings Carter Bear home to the Detroit Red Wings.
Ketzel says, just trade the pick. Corey Eisel says, F them picks. I want players now.
Look at these guys who want to win playoff games and not be worrying about managing a team in 5 years.
All right, next up for the talk you guys could not wait for, Victor Eklund. He's got that dog in him, Mike. He doesn't have the bear.
He's a dirty dog. He's a dirty dog.
He's got vision. He's fearless. Highly translatable and skilled winger. Translatable meaning, Mike?
He's coming to the NHL. Jarvis. Oh,
can make it to the NHL a little bit faster. One of the best motors in the draft, physical game, supersedes his size, a strong bet to become a top 6 NHL contributor. Boom. All right. He doesn't meet your qualifications though, Mike. He's only 5'11".
He's out.
61 pounds. All right, not for Mike. No Victor Eklund.
Nope.
Mike, Justin Carbonneau, 6'1", 191 pounds. He's an ankle breaker and
a heartbreaker. Finisher. All right.
I can't get my slide 10 out of the way, but it says if we ranked pure upside, Carbonneau would be top 5 of this year's class. A highlight reel creator. I really like that for a 6'1" guy, if I could be completely honest. Here's the problem. Decision making needs work. That's what development's for. You can't figure out goal scoring in development. You can't figure out skill. But you can make somebody smarter. That's what I will always say that.
The Red Wings are going to make me cry when they make just 0 transactions because I think we're already kind of talking ourselves into 2 or 3 of these prospects. Corey, don't enable me by suggesting I should do an entire Trump episode. You should. I'm surprised that my significant other even has molars left with the way she grinds them into dust listening to me do that voice. Anyway, Matt, I feel like are we going to trade up in this draft or trade that pick?
I would like them to trade the pick. Yeah,
I want the queen.
I think this is when they need to trade.
I want him. Oh no, that's who we're getting. This little dork. He looks like Steve Eisenman.
Jared thrown out there, making me feel old looking at all these birthdays.
A lot of old timers.
Is Mike rocking a Freddie Mercury duster? I'm on my phone. It's hard to tell.
Is that my hairdo?
No, that's your stash, buddy.
Oh yeah,
your duster.
Yeah, thank you.
Performance art. Or Jared throws out there. He just noticed it. Dan B, no more Quebec League players. Well, Brady Martin is 6 foot. Mike, he's a freight train, a chess master, and he's fearless.
Whoa.
Very physical guy. One of a kind, manipulative playmaker who overwhelms opponents with monster forechecking ability and bone-crushing hits. Top 6 NHL outcome hinges on skating development. That's a yikes, because that's a Rasmussen type review right there. But still within the realm of that 13th pick. We'll keep moving
Oh,
though.
no. Who's this assassin?
6'4".
Lynden Lakovic.
Yeah.
Weighing in
Lynden.
190 pounds, a left-handed shot. Lynden Lakovic. Man, he's scary.
I mean,
This guy's a
that's all
prospect.
about
He's like 29. How old is
that's
this
all
guy,
about
man?
that's all about his size and his dual threat
Did he
scoring.
play for the Moose Jaws, or was he
Yeah.
part Moose? Look at this guy. He's huge.
Masterful control of the game. Few prospects evolve as much as he has. Physicality is the next step. Lynden Lakovic, you need to get more physical. You got to use that 6'4" body.
Don't love that.
The worry there,
we have enough goons who can't goon.
Yeah, we have a track record of taking big guys who don't
Goon's gotta
translate
goon.
into using that size. So maybe not take Lynden.
We already got big brass. Yeah, we don't need another one.
All right, we're going to go quick here because I have one guy I want to highlight because I have a little bit of a highlight reel for us to take a peek at. So we'll get there in a sec. But Jackson Smith, Logan Hensler, and then we'll
Boring
take a look
name.
at
Boo.
Jackson Smith. I mean, he looks like he should be a Columbus Blue Jacket, if I may. Like that's not a Detroit Red Wing.
Man, that's probably your best one-liner you've ever had.
6'3", 195 pounds, dynamic offensive creator is what got me there for the defensive side, and plays the left side. So that'd be an opportunity. If Edmondson is going to end up playing with Axel, then Sider's going to need an offensive guy on his side too. So that's where Jackson fits. And now, Mike, let's take a look at Kashawn real quick because we talk about some big booming hits. Probably want to take a peek at these.
Man, listen to this, huh? Jacob Trouba with a one-timer? Bang!
Oh, can't get it to... There it goes.
Oh, Matt's got... Is this a slap shot, I hope? Oh, he's going to crunch somebody. Oh, I can't wait. Matt, why do you always have it in GIF mode? It never comes in smoothly.
I don't even know how to respond to that, but obviously...
I hope you guys enjoyed that GIF because it wasn't a video clip. Wish I
could find some GIFs, but no, this is a full MP4 on...
He's already dead! Oh, no!
Look, Kashawn is a bruiser. I hope you guys are getting a chance to see this.
Holy mackerel. Oh, my God. It's like watching a car crash montage. Look at this thing.
Yeah, if we want a guy who's already defined his game, and you mentioned Jacob Trouba, if you want a guy who's going to deliver like that, like Trouba did for the Rangers for so many years, I mean, like,
he's going to Terrifier 4? Oh, my God.
He's going to be testing the boundaries of getting suspended and fined on a weekly basis, and I think we could easily all agree.
The American economy after the tariffs? Oh my God, this is bone crunching stuff, man. Oh yeah, my Lord,
this is something that makes a difference in your lineup. And Mike, I would argue if this is why
teenagers get killed like this, it's Halloween H2O. Oh my Lord.
If you were drafting this guy to bring this game to your team, you do not have to wait long to develop him. This is something you're waiting maybe a year for, and you can bring him in.
Man, I'm developing something right now. I'm excited for this guy to be a Red Wing. Holy mackerel.
All right. That was definitely the line of the episode.
Is it Aitcheson?
Aitcheson, yep. Is that it? Oh, no, I've got Logan Hensler. Get back. Come on. There we go.
Hensler, I'm sorry, man. You got a lot to live up to after that. Yeah,
I mean,
what do you got for us?
Toolsy, play killer. He's above 6'1", but he's 6'2" and a quarter, 192 pounds. Plays on the right side. It's almost like who cares at this point.
Steadily improved. Give me McQueen or give me Aitcheson.
All right.
Can we go back to his name so we can remember it?
Aitcheson.
Is it Kashawn or Kashawn? Do we know?
I'm going to say Kashawn.
I'm going to say Kashawn. That has a better kind of snap to it, I think. Aitcheson.
Dan B. I'm sold. Draft him now.
Go. Got him. I watched one sizzle reel. I'm in. Wait, he's actually got some points in the OHL?
Yeah. Chewy says future Cronwaller? Question mark? Yeah, maybe. 59 points in 64 games for a defenseman. Nothing to sneeze at.
A lot of points. A lot of points. Maybe
Jared says, needs some Benny Hill music. Yeah, guys, we're going to wrap up now so I can put the kiddos to bed. Some of you missed the start of the episode where I explained we have to go quickly. But yeah, let us know in the comments who you guys want to pull in. It sounds like we've got everybody sold on Aitcheson. I'm still thinking Roger McQueen I would trade up for, but I think we all agree maybe the best possible take here. Let's just pull in a new player. Let's get some players now. Get rid of that draft pick. Dan B, also great take here. Go Tigers. All right, guys. Thanks for joining.
9 months before Aitcheson was born, Brokeback Mountain came out.
There you have it, guys.
Talk about the mountains of the industry. Aitcheson. Boom. Let's go.
Yeah. Aitcheson. Ledger.
McQueen.
Oh, wait. Who's the other guy in Brokeback Mountain?
What?
Heath Ledger and...
Oh, Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. There we go. The easiest name the most unique name I couldn't think. Okay. Anyway, thanks guys for coming aboard. We will we'll see you next week with an even quicker take of rounds 2 through 7. How about that? Later.